Good morning. I'm Brooke Schaefer in for Marni Hughes. We begin with breaking news, a breakthrough in Israel's war with Hamas. The truce has begun, a 4-day ceasefire. And just about an hour ago, Israeli media outlets reported the release of 13 Israeli hostages in exchange for 39 Palestinian prisoners. The Israeli government now saying they are expected those hostages at the Rafah crossing soon. NewsNation has also confirmed the release of 12 Thai nationals from Gaza. That's on top of the 13 Israeli hostages. Over the coming days, 50 hostages, we're told, will be released for 150 Palestinians jailed by Israel. Israel's Defense Forces says it is ready to welcome those now released hostages home. You can see pictures here of a helicopter, protective earmuffs, stuffed animals, and cushions awaiting the arrival of children, among the first to be released from Hamas captivity after 48 days. Israeli soldiers smiling, seeming to celebrate today as tanks moved out of northern Gaza. The ceasefire could extend past the 4 days, according to Israel, if Hamas continues to release hostages of at least 10 more per day. A Palestinian source tells Reuters the total released could reach about 100. Now, at this point, we don't know who is being released today, but we now know who is not. The White House telling NewsNation Americans are not among the first hostages being released today. 2 American women and 1 American child, who is the youngest American hostage at just 3 years old, are not in today's group. Meantime, trucks that were waiting at the Gaza border to bring in desperately needed aid are now starting to roll in. Israel says this morning 4 tankers of fuel and 4 tankers of cooking gas were transferred from Egypt to UN humanitarian aid organizations in southern Gaza via the Rafah border crossing. We also have some video for you that was posted on Instagram. In it, you can see crowds of Gazans on the move, many of them walking or traveling by carts and cars. Displaced people are reportedly heading back to their homes, though Israel has sent leaflets warning those in the south not to head back north. The leaflets saying, quote, "The war has not ended yet." Let's bring in NewsNation national correspondent Robert Sherman. He's joining us live from Tel Aviv. Robert, what's the latest you're hearing on this hostage release?
All eyes are definitely on that Rafah crossing between Gaza and Egypt, as people here, as you alluded to, Brooke, have been waiting days on end for us to possibly get to this point here. And what we've seen so far is vehicles with the Red Cross emblems on them going through that Rafah crossing from Gaza into Egypt. In terms of who exactly is on each of those vehicles, we don't know that specifically yet. But the whole landscape has been laid out for us now, is that we're anticipating not just these Thai hostages to be released, but an additional 13 or so hostages that were being held inside of Gaza. So far, everything is moving rather fastidiously. Everyone is... I would say that there's a lot of cautious optimism out here again today, not just from the people on the ground, but from the IDF as well. From our conversations with them, they say that they're watching this all unfold intently, and this information should continue to come in over the next few minutes, even hours, Brooke.
Yeah, and of course, as this information is coming into our newsroom, Robert, we are reaching out to the families of people who are being held hostage in Gaza. A lot of the families, though, telling us that they are incredibly anxious right now. They are deciding to stay inside, not speak. They are hunkering down with their families as they await news. Is that anxiety really all throughout Israel right now?
I definitely see it with a lot of the hostage families, especially because, I mean, there's just hasn't been a lot of information out there. You've seen a tale of 2 different strategies here. Hamas has used a strategy of putting more information into the public sphere to criticize Israel on the hostage releases so far. And on the other hand, you've had the Israelis not really willing to share too much information, not sharing a single more detail than they really have to. What we do know is that there were conversations with Qatari mediators in which they started to get a better idea of who would be released and who would not. So we know those conversations have taken place. But there are still a lot of people who don't know what is going to happen here and don't know with certainty if their loved one will be on the list or coming out of Gaza in the next few days. Brooke?
Right. Yeah. The initial group right now, a small group of 13 people, women and children, being released from Gaza. Robert Sherman in Tel Aviv for us. Thank you so much for that update.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.